Hi there, good Tuesday morning. It is December 17th. We appreciate you tuning in for our update. The way this works, we're going to run down some of the stories that you seem to be paying a lot of attention to. Maybe you're clicking on them on khou.com or sharing them on our Facebook page. Whatever the case may be, you guys want to know more. So we're going to have a conversation about those stories. But first, we're going to check in with meteorologist Erica Lopez because, of course, everybody's talking about how cold it is, Erica, and yesterday it was in the 70s.
I know, yeah. So I've been explaining that concept to everyone. It's called compressional warming. So whenever a strong cold front is about to push through, you notice it gets a lot warmer. In our case, we saw record highs and also gets very muggy. That's a good indication that a front is on the way. So here's a look what is behind the front that pushed through yesterday. Temperatures have dropped. If you compare this morning to yesterday morning, they've dropped about 35 degrees on average across the viewing area. This is when the front was slowly moving through our viewing area. So that's when we eventually got to 80 degrees for the Houston area right before the cold front pushed through. So now 40 degrees is what we're waking up to this morning. If you haven't stepped outside, you're going to be in for a shock to the system. It is cold out there. You want at least a couple of layers on top of that. Breezy also. There's a northwest wind at about 13 miles an hour, so that's just making it feel even colder out there. Okay, I haven't seen any freezing temperatures though this morning. That's the 32-degree mark. I have spotted upper 30s for the most part, but we actually had a good amount of cloud coverage hanging around overnight and early this morning, which did not allow us to get close to that freezing point. So what clouds do in the atmosphere, it acts as a blanket, kind of locks in our temperatures, and it doesn't allow us to get that cold. So near 40 degrees for most of us this morning. Just keep in mind, it feels like we're in the 30s because of a breeze out there. So just plan for temperatures in the 30s, at least what it will feel like. And then this afternoon, still chilly, clear skies, clouds will clear away, and temperatures will be only in the low 50s. Not only today, 50s hang around on Wednesday and 50s hang around on Thursday. So we have 3 days of pretty cold temperatures. And even then we'll be waking up to morning lows in the 30s for the next 3 days also. So no rain chances until Friday. Friday is our next cold front that we'll be tracking. It's a much weaker front though. So it hardly even cools us down. It just keeps us close to seasonable temperatures, which are averages about 65 for this time of the year. But we'll notice rain chances pick up. And then once that pushes out, we have clear conditions just in time for the weekend. And by the way, the start of the winter season officially is on Saturday, and seasonable temperatures to kick off the weekend. I do want to mention, because lots of questions regarding Christmas, right? We're all wondering, what is Christmas going to bring? So I just want to show you this quick graphic before I turn things over to Brandy. This is our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Long-term models are hinting we will be above average. Now this graphic looks a little more drastic than what it actually means. So average is 65 for this time of the year. So that means temperatures will be above 65 degrees. Most of the models though are keeping us in the 70s. So really 70s for Christmas time. For Houston, it could be worse, but I know it doesn't necessarily feel like Christmas. We're not expecting a white Christmas or any freezing temperatures for the holiday. But again, it definitely could be on the worst side. Just wanted to give you a heads up. If you were hoping for some freezing temperatures for the holiday, that's not necessarily going to happen this year. But Brandy, yeah, a lot of us, I think, are enjoying the change of pace. It was pretty warm over the weekend, so big changes.
It is crazy though that we're warming up to the winter solstice. Like the first day of winter will be warmer than it is now.
Yeah, no, I agree. But again, keep in mind, I think it was 64 for the summer solstice, or excuse me, winter solstice. So, 62. That is actually about 3 degrees below average. So, not too bad. I mean, yeah, definitely not too bad for Houston standards for the start of the season.
To be sure. And if people want snow and ice, they can head somewhere else.
You got to go up north, not here.
Erica, thank you. Let me know, I asked this question on my Facebook page and Twitter, if there's like a warm or I guess a cold weather food that you like to eat when it gets chilly like this. Like I had baked potato soup last night and it was so nice, and it was just like warm and cozy, and I fell right asleep. It doesn't actually take me much to do that with this shift, but let me know in the comments, and Brandon, be thinking about it because we're coming back to you. You give me a thumbs up. All right, weather was what we were talking about all morning on H-Town Rush. The other story, this semi truck that hit a freeway overpass again. Now, this isn't the very common Houston Avenue bridge. No, we're mixing it up this time. Going on the east side, it was the Waco bridge. You can see a little chunk hanging down there, some rebar. The truck driver never stopped, according to TxDOT. But other drivers who ran into that debris are the ones who called it in. And so crews shut down the freeway starting at about 3 o'clock this morning. They reopened it at 7:30, so it was closed for about 4.5 hours. If you're coming in from the east side, that was probably a brutal commute in. But it just begs the question, why? Why does this keep happening? I know this is the shortest overpass on the east side, so that's kind of the welcome to Houston, your load is too big. And on the other side, you have the Houston Avenue. And if your load is too tall, you hit one of those. But TxDOT has taken all of these measures to prevent this from happening. There are even sensors around the loop on I-10 at each side as you come in. And yet this continues to happen and really messes with everyone else's commute. So I don't know what we do to fix it. Maybe those truck drivers should get the correct permit for their truck and reroute accordingly. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. The other story that we've been tracking over the past couple of days has been this really crazy mercury spill investigation on the west side, like Beltway 8 and Westview Drive. So we're talking about a couple different stores, a gas station, a Buc-ee's, but not the Buc-ee's, Bucky apostrophe S, just to clarify, because there was a lot of concern there. Investigators wanted to make sure that we knew that was it. But investigators did make an arrest. He's 19. His name is Christopher Melder. They're also looking at an abandoned chem lab, and they haven't directly linked the two, but he is charged with breaking in to something. They just haven't said it's this chem lab. But they suspect that he took this mercury and dumped it over here on the west side. And then over the course of days, people kind of tracked it all over the place. And that's why there's this growing area of concern. So now investigators are saying, if you were in that area, the 13th, the 14th, or the 15th, and you start coming down with symptoms like headaches, itchy throat and eyes, coughing, nausea, it could be the flu, could be a bug, also could be mercury exposure. So they want you to go get checked out by your doctor. On khou.com, we have a whole article that runs down what we know about this guy, what we know about the sites that are contaminated, what the symptoms of mercury look like, all that jazz. So if you want to read more, you know where to go. There's another story that has been on the top of our charts that we monitor that you guys have been clicking on for a couple of days now, and it's just really sad. It's from out near Texarkana, and it's two sisters who were killed in a crash right in front of their high school. So they went to Linden Kildare. So you're looking at photos of Shantae and Adriana Hawkins. They were a sophomore and freshman. And just right in front of their high school, they ran into a log truck. That car did. They were both killed. Their mom was hurt. She's in the hospital. We don't have an update on her condition. But just really sad. You can imagine this is a pretty small school district. A good ways southwest of Texarkana. Everybody knew everybody. And there's kind of an outpouring of love and support for these girls there. Not a lot to add to this, but we do have more information on khou.com if you want to read up. This next story is out of the Denver area. We're talking about Aurora, and it's an investigation done by our sister station there, 9 News. I can't talk a lot about it because their story has been really vetted, but the basics. An Aurora police officer was found passed out in his unit. His blood alcohol level, 0.045, which is almost 6 times the legal limit. He was never charged with anything. He was never punished. And now, because of the 9 News investigation, the city administrator wants a little more effort in this case, looking into what happened and whether he should be punished. So I'm going to direct you again to khou.com. It's one of our top stories on there, or you can go to 9news.com because it's a much more comprehensive story than I'm able to really get in here. They've had it all, checked over by lawyers, and I want to make sure, excuse me, that all of that info comes across accurately. And then finally, we're going to end with a great story, some Christmas cheer. Here, go ahead, hit it, Brandon.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. Thank you guys so much.
Esther Nisha Sanders with her brand new Jeep Rubicon. So Esther hadn't had a car. She's a single mom of 4. She has a 10-year-old daughter at MD Anderson who's battling brain cancer, and she somehow made her way to that hospital to see her baby girl. And this is furniture that Gallery Furniture and Mattress MACK dropped off earlier in the week, and then yesterday they surprised her with that Jeep so that she can get around to work and go see her daughter, and it's pretty incredible to see. I have to say, a couple years ago, I was invited to an event at Gallery Furniture where Mattress MACK basically decides on all of these families that receive donations over the holidays. And sometimes it's just someone writing in saying, my dad needs a new rocker or armchair. Or sometimes it's a neighbor writing in and say, hey, there's this family next door who needs bunk beds and, beds for themselves. And to see it delivered just in time for Christmas. It's pretty cool. Another story that I'll throw the link in because I'm just thinking out loud here. Lauren Tallarico did a story last night about this neighborhood, Pecan Grove, out in Fort Bend County, and they started this Facebook group where they're granting each other's Christmas wishes, like $30,000 worth so far. And so there's been so much, little things, big things, folks who lost their jobs, who just need a little help, and it's incredible to see. So I know we cover a lot of really heartbreaking stories and a lot of really troubling stories this time of year, but just know that there's a lot of good out there, and we try to cover those as well. Look at, where'd you pull that? Okay, so this is video from Pecan Grove. I mean, you can see the Christmas spirit on display outside fully, right? So just imagine what those folks are like. It's pretty cool. So we'll post that link as well. That does it for me. Swerving over to Brandon here.
Oh, I like the lean. Yeah. So obviously gumbo. I'm half Cajun, so yeah, any kind of gumbo, all kinds of gumbo, all day long. I will eat that. We have a few people chiming into Jimmy saying pho noodle is his go-to. Angie saying chicken soup, classic. Can't hate on the chicken soup.
Last week when it got cold, I went for ramen.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I will also eat ramen anytime. Yeah, it's good stuff. We did have one poor lady who I guess is freezing. Diane says she hates this weather. I feel you, Diane, when it's like 2, 3 in the morning when we're coming into work and I'm feeling it for the first time. I'm pretty unhappy. But when the sun comes out, I love it. Windows are down all day.
The only thing today is because it's so breezy, it's going to nip at you a little bit more.
Yeah. I also am
dreading
inside a building that has windows facing the sun and air conditioning and heating, so I guess I'm kind of spoiled there.
Yeah. I'm the fool who knows fully what the forecast is going to be because my boyfriend's a meteorologist. We have a whole team of them here whom I listen to, and yet in a sleeveless dress, and I don't have tights on, but I will tomorrow. It's the lesson learned there.
Yeah, we have
Always a day late.
We have a few more shout outs here. Susan's eating beef stew and chili, I guess. Liz is eating pozole, also really good. And
I want to say about chili, I mean, not that kind of chili that we're talking about, but we had a story today that researchers confirm eating chilies, like chili peppers, is good for you if you have them like 4 times a week. So maybe throw a few extra in that chili.
Just sweat.
Yeah, sweat it out.
Sweat yourself through the winter. I like it.
Yep. You heard it here. Brandon and Brandy, the experts in just about nothing. We have another update coming up at 2:15. This is Sauce, one of our editors. It was just, I could just feel something over here. It was just Sauce standing there watching. Not creepy at all. Anyway, another update at 2:15 if you want to tune in for that. And we'll have to wait and see what tomorrow looks like for the morning update, because we know we have the funeral for Nassau Bay Sergeant Kayla Sullivan, as well as some impeachment proceedings in the House. So that could all bump us off, but if it doesn't, we'll be here. Have a good day.